Hello champions and future champions, hello ChessMood family, GM Gabuzyan is here with you and I am going to start our daily lesson. Today we are going to continue daily lesson about knight's bad position on g6 square. In the previous part we were seeing how queen and knight on g5 were making a huge pressure on this knight when queen was located on h5. In this example, we will see another way of using this knight's bad position. It's white to move here, and I'll recommend you guys to think what can you be playing for white now. White is playing now h4. Idea is very much simple. We're just going h5, h6, and crushing opponent's kingside structure. The thing is, our opponent is not able to prevent this advancement. Black is just going king to h8, trying to take this king away from our queen's diagonal. But after h5, knight e7 and h6, white is just destroying black's kingside. So after knight g6, pawn takes, king takes g7, now there are several weak squares near to the black king. Since we're having bishop pair, it's gonna be just terrible for black. After bishop g5, rook g8, bishop f6 check, king f8 and queen h3, white is obtaining a decisive advantage, gonna be moving this king to a center, will be taking this pawn soon with a tempo after queen h6 check and queen h7. So white has a great position, and with h4-h5 maneuver at the beginning, they obtained a very good game. Let's go ahead to see the next position. Again, it's white to move. Again, opponent's knight is staying on g6. So I guess there is no even need to ask you pause the video and think, since you are guessing that the move is h4. Now, if black is trying to prevent this, playing h5, this g5 square is just gonna be great for our knight. This is another disadvantage of knight on g6. It's not gonna be getting access to this g4 square. Meanwhile, with knight g5 move, we are getting a great square for our knight, and also making this queen f3 and queen goes to h5 idea doable. So this is not working for black. And after h4, black can be trying rook e8, h5 and knight f8, taking knight to this square. But the thing is, again with h6, white is spoiling opponent's kingside structure. Let's also not forget that our bishop now is on the long diagonal, and it's gonna be a huge pressure. After g takes h6, white is playing another very logical and very strong d5 move. Since our opponent's king's position is bad, we just need to open up our strong pieces. So after c5, white plays queen e3, aiming for h6, and is having a decisive advantage. After knight g6, we can be just taking on h6 and create a dangerous threat. Black's kingside position is absolutely destroyed, so white has a very solid advantage. Again, with the beginning h4 and h5 maneuver destroying opponent's king's position. Let's go ahead and see more examples, guys. We're having now another situation when opponent has a knight on g6. Also we have bishop pair versus knight pair. Right now, white is not able to play h4 since this pawn is hanging. So you can pause the video, guys, and try to think, what would you play for white? There might be a few ways of playing this h4 move, but the best one is just to play g3, preparing h4, and also let's have in our mind that this pawn is terribly limiting knight abilities. Pawn 3 squares in front of the knight is terribly limiting it, so it's a very logical, strong positional move. After rook takes e2, white takes with the queen, also controlling the open line, and if you have watched the daily lessons about the open lines, you know the importance of this. And after a5 is just playing h4, b6 and h5. Knight h8, and again with h6 move. We are destroying opponent's king's position and obtaining a very nice advantage. If black is playing something like g6, we can be going back, and this pawn being very dangerously placed nearby, so some attacks will be possible. Now white will try to open up position on the other side and create dangerous threats. Or if after h6 black is ignoring this and is going knight hg6, just after takes and takes, Black king is again very much weakened, pawn structure is much bad, now these two pawns are weaknesses, meanwhile white is having a very solid structure. White is playing now king g2, opening up the way for the rook, so now we will have two available options, and white's position is just much better. So again, with h4 and h5, white created a very nice game due to the tempos related knight on g6. Let me go ahead, guys, and show you more examples. And you're now like, okay, where is the knight on g3? Or where is the knight on g6? That's right, this time we're switching to the queen side, and also in this case I will try to show you an example when this knight's position can be used by opponent. Right now, black is having a a5 move. We're just threatening to play a4 and a3 and destroy white's queen side. White cannot be going knight to a4 since the pawn on e4 is hanging. So, for this reason, with the beginning a5 move, black is getting nice options to get better positions on the queen side. It's happening rook c1, a4, knight d2, and a3. And the thing is, guys, that now if white takes, this pawn structure is gonna be very much bad. White is getting many pawn islands. Or as it happened in this game, after a3, white played b3, but after knight b4, black knight is getting a very strong square. Pawn on a2 will be under attack all the time, knight d5 moves will be very difficult, and this bishop will be bothering this diet and this diagonal for a long while. So, after f3, bishop c6, knight tb1, knight d7, black is obtaining a very nice game. In future, knight will be going to c5, queen a5, and black has much better positions on the queen side. So now we have seen another options of using knight's position. So g3 is equal to b3, and a5 and a4 advancement worked out in this example. Let's go ahead to see another one. Here again, we're going to be using bad position of knight far from the king, so on the queen side. Here white is playing a4. We want to go a5 and attack this knight. If black is going a5, it's very bad since we're again getting access to this square, meanwhile black has no good knights to occupy the square on b4. So white can be playing bishop e3, going knight b5 and having a good position. That's the reason after a4, black played knight e5. But it's happening a5, knight bd7 and bishop e3. Now with this pawn we're making a huge pressure on black's queen side, and for this reason this advancement is very good. This bishop is again having difficulties to get developed. Now this knight came to d7 and is preventing it from going to f5 or g4 squares. And after knight f6, in the game it has happened rook d1, which was not the best move, since d6 move is available. Now we're going to be making extra use of this pawn on a5 square. If black is playing queen takes d6, we can play e6. Since there is a pin on this long diagonal, black is not able to take, and white will gain a strong passed pawn on b7 square, which will be decisive. After d6, it's happening the same if black is playing with e takes d6. We're again going a6, rook b8 and bishop a7 is possible, followed by a takes b7. Again winning for white. And if after d6, black is playing a6 on their own, preventing this a6 move for white. Now we have d takes e7, queen e7 and just knight f4. Since our bishop is opened on this long diagonal, b7 is hanging very much, our knights are getting access to this d5 square and bishop on c8 can't be developed. So because of all of this, white is having a very nice position with a solid advantage. Let me now go ahead, guys, and give you a test position. Now it's white to move, and as I mentioned, this will be your homework. You can share your thoughts and ideas in the comments section below. GM Gabuzyan was here with you. Thank you for your subscriptions, likes, and sharing this video with your friends. We appreciate it a lot. See you next time during our next daily lessons.